Okay, let us try that again. Hello everyone, greetings, welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Harrier Citadel, avian alien sentinel of Fort Misthaven, perpetrator of creative chaos and general maker of things. Welcome in. Hello Alex, hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I needed to make a new link because I did something really stupid. And I'm just quickly fighting with audio devices real quick. And hopefully it will be working in a moment. There we go. It says it's connecting. There we go. Okay, we are back up and running. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, we survived the weekend. We survived the weekend and we are here. It is Monday. Where did Monday go? Hope everyone had a good time over the weekend. Did you do anything fun? Yeah, I can safely say that the last couple of days have been mad in my world. What's new? But we did manage to make a little bit of a lunch outing on Saturday, which was nice for the Burba Day with the fam and some IRL friends. So that was really, really nice. Beyond that, it's just been work. It's been a little bit crazy. It's been a little bit really crazy. So much so that I've only been able to do a little bit of progress on all of the things that I've been needing to get caught up on in my queue. But slowly, we are starting to get places. So hopefully we will make strides to catch up now over the next week or two. Thursday, Friday, Saturday are not going to exist in my iteration of the world. I expect that Sunday is also not going to really exist on account of me being absolutely dead tired by the time we reach that time of the week. But yes, we are hoping that between now and end of tomorrow I can get a couple of things done and dusted. One of which is actually what we're going to be working on tonight, which is a little bit of commission grinding. For a change, we've been doing a lot of non-commission work on stream lately, so this is going to be the first time we've actually done commission work for a while. Good luck with the grind. Thank you. Thank you. It is a lot that needs to happen, but yeah. Let us in fact head over and we can continue the chat over here. Yes, so I had that still open. No. Save. Still had that open. The mistakes are many this day, but it's fine. I managed to unbreak a lot of things that I broke, but it's fine. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're going to be doing a portrait illustration for Heyo to be used for thumbnails and also as a in-game portrait for, I believe, Star Sector. I think it's Star Sector. I'm not 100% sure. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to draw Teo as a Star Sector portrait. And that's going to be our vibe for the day. So we've got the rest of it all sorted. As far as pose and everything goes, I've gotten that all approved from Teo, so we should now be able to continue straight ahead. Hope the things that broke stay fixed. I think they ought to. The things that were broken were the HDMI input from my working computer into the streaming laptop. So I needed to just kind of reset some stuff. And unfortunately that meant restarting the stream and the broadcast, so I needed to scramble to make new links for everything, but it's fine. The main thing is we're live. and we survived it. So yeah, that is what is on the game plan for today. We are gonna make this such that we have the hat on a separate layer, just so that we can potentially take it off if need be, or have a version with the hat and a version without the hat. So I'm just gonna call this one sketch, if I can spell. There we go. It would help if I put my keyboard a little bit further that way. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I'm just gonna make one tiny adjustment over here. What I want to do is I just want to make a quick adjustment to my there we go. Just needed to make a quick adjustment to something in StreamerBot. Okay. Because what I've now done is I've actually made StreamerBot make a noise every time there is a YouTube chat message. Monshiro! Hello! Happy birthday! Thank you, Monshiro! Welcome in! Thank you for the birthday wishes! How are you doing? Good to see you! Thank you! How goes? A little late, but I came to say. Aw, it's greatly appreciated. Honestly, I did not make a big deal about the birthday, so I do not blame anyone for not being aware of it. Honestly. I legitimately did not make a big deal of it. So. I'm cooking, literally. I made a veggie thing and it turned out good. Oh, nice. Nice. Always nice when the culinary things go well. That's awesome. Awesome. Was it a saucy thing? Because if so, then one could say it was awesome sauce. Or was all the sauce awesome? I wonder. Was the sauce awesome? You know what? I'm just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna try and make this a little bit more painterly than usual. It is sauce? Hey! Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna try and make this a little bit more painterly than usual to try and match the style a little bit. That reminded me, I need to eat as well. Yes, Alex. Food is necessary for organic life forms, even fish. It's an onion, carrots, chickpeas from a can, diced tomatoes, water, half corn that can that I had in the fridge, and spices. So an onion, carrot, chickpea. So it's sort of like a oniony tomato relish type thing with chickpeas and cream corn type thing. Yeah, that sounds like a good sauce. Like, was it spicy sauce or was it just flavory? and frozen leafy green that has a lot of iron, but actually broccoli or spinach. Leafy. Then it's probably spinach. The Popeye veggie. Usually I like spicy food, but I kept it reserved and like not spicy. Just spice, but not spicy. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah, that sounds like something that is actually quite popular in South Africa as a relish on a whole bunch of stuff. Like really good on a boerewors roll, for example. Spinach, yeah, forget the name, thank you. Yeah, no stress, no stress. Okay, so far this is going pretty well. We're just doing a rough ink because we're going to try and make this a little bit more painterly. So I'm probably going to end up blending all of these lines into what we end up actually doing. Which is why I'm also not really working on the hair back either. Really good on a, what did you say? What we call a boerewors roll. It's basically like the South African version of a hot dog, except with a different kind of sausage. So it's a sausage that's usually a beef sausage that's a very thick or a very coarse ground mince, usually with a reasonable fat content, usually seasoned with a bit of coriander and other spices depending on who makes it. Very hearty sort of a thing, and that really sounds like it would go really well with that. Or it sounds similar to what we usually do as a similar sort of a garnish, relish, saucy thing on that sort of a roll. But yeah, having actual quote-unquote real meat on the boerewors roll does make it significantly more substantial and, you know, nutritionally healthier than the average American style hot dog. With, you know, a Vienna. Okay. Almost got these epaulets ready for phase number next. Here, the main thing that I'm concerned about is the silhouette more than anything else. So I want those edges to be neat and nice. Okay, so that works on that shoulder. Now we need to pull this up. Pull the collar. And into the neck. A lot of this information is going to be dealt with in more detail when we do the colors and shading and general painterly stuff. I'm going to experiment with this one and go a little bit more one layer-esque with it. Because if we look at our style reference, it's significantly more painterly. So we're going to try and emulate a wee bit. So it is slightly different from our usual fare, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? To keep experimenting. It's been so long, I feel like, since we've actually had an illustration commission in the queue. I'd love to do more of these, honestly. I always feel like it's always such a long stretch between illustrations. There's such a long amount of time between illustrations that I almost need to relearn, okay, how to illustrate a thing, because it's always more technical art in between the whole time. That's like just needing to remind myself, okay, so what do the processes look like? What's different? How can we play with this to get it to work and look like how we want it, type stuff. I really want to do a lot more of everything, but I feel like straight illustrations are something that I could really, or I should really try and do more of, if I can. Okay. So I'm going to just give ourselves the inner edge of the eye. But I'm going to save the lashes for another layer for now. That hot dog actually sounds quite yummy. I know, right? Fun fact is that oftentimes the local butchers will actually make these boerewors rolls to sell outside their shops with their obviously house mix that they produce. But as actually a marketing thing, because you cannot walk past someone making boerewors rolls and not immediately get hungry. So as a marketing thing to say, okay guys, we're gonna sell the boerewors rolls as a convenience thing, but if you like the borscht, then come buy it from us, because obviously we make it. So the butchers do that, and it's actually a really, really clever thing. that they do. Incredibly effective. I'm not a huge fan of pork hot dogs. I don't really enjoy the skin on the outside. Yes, depending on what they're doing, I can completely understand that. Sometimes the skins can be quite thick and hard, and oftentimes it can taste incredibly processed. Like, overly processed. You know? I don't actually 100% know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out still. I don't eat hot dogs that much, and like in the US, you can't really find them here in schools in the street. Yeah, no, I can totally believe that. I can totally believe that. But when we do buy hot dogs from places like food courts or for home, it's either beef or a mixture of chicken and turkey. Oh my. Yeah, because technically, the idea of sausage on a bun can be any meat, in any sausage. But a nice thick ground beef is definitely yeah. It all depends on the kind of sausage. Even those, you have better graded ones, which are more expensive and usually bigger, and then you have the ones that kids like a lot, which are referred to as junk food. Yeah, the Vienna sausages. I personally am also one who avoids a Vienna sausage as much as possible. Okay. So for a first pass on the skin cell shading, that'll do. what I do want to do is I want to switch this back on, just so that I've got an idea of where we're going. Grab that. Grab you. Now what I want to do is I want to just refine a little bit. It feels a little bit risky going in straight in with colors like this, but at the same time, if ever there was a chance to experiment, it was now, right? Speaking of food, did you eat? Yes, yes. What did we have? What did we have for supper? Oh, my mom made fried potatoes, and we had boerewors. We had boerewors for supper, with fried potato wedges, like pan fried with in olive oil, and cut up raw tomato. And what was the other thing? We had peas. We had peas on the plate. So it was just comfy home food. It's just really comfy home food. Seems yummy? Yeah, it was good. It was really good. I don't know how my mom does amazing things like that with the potato, but I will never get bored of it. Honestly. Potatoes are so yum, very much so. Oh man, they never get old. Okay, I suppose if you spoke with an Irish person from some decades ago, they would disagree with me wholeheartedly. But personally, I think they are one of the best things in all of creation. Like, you just can't go wrong with a potato. One of my favorite food stories is how potatoes used to be high and mighty food, and things then kings and queens and all of those discovered that farmers who made the potatoes ate them as well, and then it was just not considered high food anymore. Yeah, no, that's hilarious. Like, guys, if it comes out the dirt and you can eat it, do not expect it to be something that is reserved for nobility. But that kind of wake-up call, reality check is not necessarily a bad thing. So Okay, so now what I want is, I want to see, is this in fact skin highlight? Yes, okay. You remind me of a food YouTube short dude named Liam who loves beans and potatoes. Well, let's just be real. If you do not love potatoes, then I am slightly distrustful of you. Just slightly. Like they are one of the best things, like, ever. Like, I can forgive people for not liking raw tomato, but to dislike a potato is next level. I'm sorry. Okay, so this at least seems to be going well. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to add a linear burn, clip that down, and just get a little bit more crease in a couple of places. There we go. There we go. Now over here. Just to make sure I understand, you are drawing the cat ocean creature girl? Yes, yes. Correct. That is 100% correct. I am indeed drawing the Tigran character here. This is Heyo. And it is indeed going to be in this sort of a style in that uniform as well. It is a... do I want this to be linear burn or do I want this to be multiply? First one is going to be multiply. Yeah, so we're doing this character in this style. That is 100% correct. In understanding. What I am going to do is I'm going to just, before anything else, I'm just going to add a little bit of lip tint. But I'm going to take it away drastically as well. Got it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now we've got the shape. Now we get the tone. There we go. Okay, so it looks really cursed right now, but we're getting places. So this is our inks. This is going to be teeth. Okay, grab that color. Lock this in. Okay, lock. A little bit of side shading. Actually, do this in multiple layers as well. And then I can cut the inks down. Okay, almost got this. now here, what I want to do is I want to put this on a multiply. And now we're going to do our contour. I've got this wrong again, but it's fine. Normal. Unclip. There we go. Sai, hello, welcome in. Good to see ya. How goes? Goes okay? How goes stream? Stream is going. We are currently doing a little bit of commission work for Heyo. We're doing something a little bit experimental in terms of style, I guess. But so far it's going pretty well. Had a little bit of a shaky start, but that's kind of normal. A little bit of scuff. What is VTubing without it, right? What's experimental about it? We're basically doing this character in this sort of a style. Or getting something closer to that style. With a little bit of humor mixed in. So it's going to be interesting. We're still very much in early phase. We've only been at this for now, what? 48 minutes. Oh dear. You know what that reminds me of? We never did hydrate timers. So everyone, acquire your nearest safer consumption beverages and let's take a sip. What's everyone drinking? I got so caught up in the scuff that I forgot to switch on my hydrate timers. Maybe I'm wrong, but I want to say that look kind of reminds me of a bit of oil painting. That is entirely the plan. That's entirely the plan. So that means that we're on the right track. Yay! We're on the right track. Yay! I'm surprised I got that right. Well, own it. You got it very right. You got it very right indeed. And I've just had a delivery of fresh coffee. Happiness, happiness is in a mug. You know what? I'm probably going to end up taking away the line art layer entirely. Probably. I think I should prepare myself accordingly. Yeah, I'm going to take out the line art layer entirely. We're just gonna do straight painting on this. I was unaware that caffeine is happiness. I'll have to investigate further. Yes, well, there are some days when it is sort of undisputable. The coffee just makes life better. What I do want to do though is just get this like so. And just harden up some of these shadows. Get them a bit deeper. I'm gonna probably want to change the color a little bit, just a smidge. I've got the wrong brush. This was the one I'm looking for. I'm just going to darken inside here because I think I'm going to do the sclera over the top. And this is just going to give me a little bit more buffer zone for doing lashes later. It looks creepy, I know. But this is the ugly part of painting. This is the ugly face. This is the ugly face. It's fine. It'll get better. It'll get better. It will get better, right? It had better get better. Okay. something like that. This is the kind of face you see in a creepypasta, so like not actually scary, more just wrong. Yes, this is very much in that realm at the moment. This is so very much in that realm at the moment. Very uncanny valley. Nope, that's not the one I was looking for. I'm looking for that one. Okay, then here. Okay. Let's do this. We need more depth on the edges. And we need a little bit over here. It looks really wrong right now, but it's getting there. Okay. As someone who doesn't drink coffee, I do not agree with caffeine as happiness, but I will say chocolate and sugar. I can agree with the chocolate, but with the sugar... Sugar is nice, but it's also cancer, unfortunately. Sugar is just straight up food for cancer, so it's like, it's fine in small doses, but I'm wary of it. I'm very, very, very wary of it. But coffee is in fact not the only place you get caffeine. You also get it in a lot of black teas as well. So if coffee ain't your vibe, you might get your caffeine kick out of the tea. Okay, and now we are in color picker mode. I'm not a tea person. I wish I liked it. My mom loves tea. My sister-in-law loves tea. I love Japanese food, but I've never been able to motivate being able to bring myself to enjoy tea that's not fruit flavored. You know, that is perfectly valid. If you like fruit teas, then you like fruit teas. You don't need to be a black leaf tea person either. Personally, I'm also not really much of a black leaf tea person unless it's got all of the milk in it. Especially if it gets too strong. Because then it gets bitter in a nasty kind of way, I find. Because you get nice bitters and less nice bitters. But yeah. Fruit tea is still tea? If it tastes like you milk the plant, I can't do it. In the words of a wise old man, it sounds like you're referring there to the insult to tea, which is hot leaf juice. Which, honestly, I get it. If it doesn't taste like anything, if it doesn't taste appetizing to you, then that particular variety of tea is just not for you. The only non-fruit tea I've enjoyed is chai. That makes sense. It's all spices. Josh, hello, welcome back. How are you doing? We're doing good. We are surviving. We have had a little bit of scuff this day, but nothing that we could not conquer. Was a reboot, but it's fine. Yeah, no, we're doing good. I hope you had a good weekend. Welcome. Chai is a blend of spices. Have you tried like a spicy cinnamon or cardamom or clove tea? Hot leaf juice isn't an insult. I like coffee, but that is bean soup. Oh, coffee is bean soup, yes. Roasted bean soup. Like, I too would not enjoy a tea that tastes like someone just decided to pour swamp in a cup. That is not my idea of a good time. Is there a bean though? It's more like a pot or seed because there's fruit on the outside of the seed that you can eat. Welcome back. Welcome back, Alex. Yeah, it's called a bean. I don't know if it's an actual legume. Didn't mean that it tastes like a swamp, just being funny. My point is that I'm not a fan of veggie tasting tea. Yeah, no, like, everyone has their own tastes. I have personally tasted teas that taste like swamp, so hence why I could say that with some level of confidence. I cannot remember what tea it was. I think it was maybe just an overbrewed Ceylon, but it tasted like swamp to me. So yeah. To each our own, I suppose, on that front. Okay. Right. So that is that part done. I'm gonna merge that down there. Grab this and just pull a little bit more contouring into the front of the throat. I want that brush. There we go. There we go. Here's your requested research. Coffee beans are not beans or legumes. While they visually resemble legumes, they are actually the seeds of a fruit known as the coffee cherry. Okay, that makes sense. They're referred to as beans in the colloquial, but they are in fact not beans. Good to know. Okay, so that is the skin pretty much there, teeth pretty much there, until further notice. Next, let's do sclera so that it's less creepy. Let's tone down the creepy factor. You know what? I've got the wrong brush for this. I want my lasso. Because I want these to be opaque. So seed hot beverage, and I know people make jam or preserved in the fruit. Ooh! I did not know that about the coffee fruit. Interesting. I did not know that about the coffee fruit. Very interesting. Okay. At least one eye is starting to get less creepy. Just a little bit. Okay, now what we do is we come over here, grab this, and just give ourselves a little bit of a skin color tint to this slot before we grab this and just turn that gray a little bit. There we go. Multiply. Flip. All right. And then iris. We're gonna start with that and that. That was pretty accurate. Okay. That was pretty accurate. I will definitely be cleaning up the lashes, but for now I'm just roughing them in so that we've got something to work with. while we do more of the outfit. Okay. When are we? Okay, that's when we are. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to go here. No. And I want to go uniform. Okay, and we're going to need how many colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, that looks like that base color. There we go. A little late, but I know we eat too much sugar, and there's a lot of sugar in many things that we buy. But we need sugar, it's what feeds our brain. Just remember that sugar is not evil. No. The argument about what feeds your brain and what gets used for energy it is a hot matter of debate between nutritionists. And it is something that, depending on the information that you have access to, it is going to vary quite significantly. But you also need to look at, who benefits from selling that information. Anyway, this is not conspiracy theory time, right? But basically, what one needs to consider is that there is a nutritional hierarchy that your body goes through in terms of what it's going to burn for fuel. So if you look at the composition of you as a living organism, right? Hello. That's our hydrate timer. Very little of you as a living organism is actually made out of sugar. And let's just take our hydrates, everyone. Acquire your nearest safe consumption beverages. And let's take a sip. Right, so the majority of you as an organism is made out of proteins, and then fats, and then carbohydrates in roughly that order, right? Sugars make up a almost negligible part of you as an non-plant. The tea that tastes like swamp, was that by chance a pu'er tea? I've not actually seen that anywhere. I think it was legitimately just straight Ceylon that had brewed for too long. It was a bog standard Ceylon. I don't really do Ceylon tea on its own. But no, I'll be very hard pressed to even find pu'er tea, let alone try it. But yeah. No. I was gonna go on a vendetta against sugar, but I'm going to decide against it. Basically, so little of you is made up of it that it's a very cheap resource to get rid of. So your body prioritizes burning sugars first. Also, it's addictive, so it's like, one of those things that it's a useful thing if you need a sudden burst of energy in a hurry, but it's not going to be a long-lasting amount of energy delivery. Sugar makes my brain go brr. Yes, that's the immediate energy spike that you're getting from it. But that crashes very, very quickly. The next most readily available molecule that your body will use for fuel is going to be carbohydrates. And it prioritizes those after sugars only because carbohydrates are long chains of sugars all linked together. And in a few cases, carbohydrates are used to tell cells or for cells to talk to one another and say, oh, I need this molecule or I need that molecule, give me vitamins, blah. That sort of communication. So you have some use for carbohydrates in your body. So your body doesn't want to get rid of those before it's gotten rid of sugars, right? Only after you have literally no carbs and no sugars in your bloodstream do you start to burn fat for energy. Because fats are kind of really, really important. Obviously, they're padding, they're your storage fuel. And with each of these molecules that I'm describing, the energy density contained in them, that when they get broken down to be converted for ATP, which is basically the fuel molecule that your body uses to actually do stuff. With each of these up the hierarchy that I go, the fuel package size increases. And I'm just kind of winging it in terms of the terminology here. So because the size of the fuel package increases, it is a more valuable molecule, or a more energy potent molecule. But they're also more useful, so your body doesn't necessarily want to get rid of those first. Like, some ain't that bad, but then too much, then it's bad. Yeah, that's normal for overloading your system. Like everything else, yeah. Like, things in moderation is perfectly fine, but when you have overdoses, it gets bad. And like, if you're eating cake every day, then you mustn't get surprised if you have serious health issues. Because all you're doing is filling your body up with cheap sugar that it can't entirely process. And it causes your entire energy signaling circuit basically to go really, really, really haywire. And yeah, it's raw fuel for cancer cells. So it's one of those, once you've encountered the bad side of sugar, which I have, it's very, very, very difficult to not want to be cautious of it in any and all contexts. So yeah, everything is okay in moderation. But like if one had to do a, I don't want to call it a detox, because a detox is also a little bit of a farce. But if you had to abstain from sugar for, say, 2 weeks, like just avoid processed sugar for 2 weeks, it would firstly be a really, really healthy thing to do every now and again. And secondly, what one might find is that trying to have something with a processed sugar might actually upset your stomach afterwards, because it is in fact an alien experience that our bodies are not actually designed to process. Yeah, I can see this conversation potentially going in conflicting directions, so let's just settle on everything is okay in moderation. Just be mindful. Some things are dangerous and highly addictive. Don't say you haven't been warned. Okay. Interestingly, I think it's being tested right now, but people with ADHD say sugar helps them think clearly and be relaxed. I think that might just be the addiction talking, and the stress eating. Honestly, I think I'm too addicted to sugar. I can't give it up. Oh, try slowly cutting down your amounts a little bit at a time, and you would be amazed what it does for how you feel about yourself. Honestly, it is definitely a worthwhile experiment to run, if naught else. I think I'm good. I think I should fix that I only eat once a day, since that's what I'm used to. Interestingly, intermittent fasting like that is actually okay. That is actually not a problem. It's what you eat when you do eat that's usually more of a health issue. Intermittent fasting like that is actually pretty healthy. Because humans are not designed to graze either. Lots of rice, some meats, and veggies? No, that's hundreds. That's hundreds. You don't need to change that. You don't need to change that at all. That is relatively healthy. Provided you don't have underlying medical conditions that have major impacts on your diet. Let's go. Yeah, no. Rice is in general good for you. Meat, if it's not processed to death with all of the sugar in it, is good for you. Veggies in general are good for you, so yeah, there's no need to change that. Of course, I should probably disclose that I am in fact not a nutritionalist. So, do not take anything that I say as medical advice. Okay, like that. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. It's still looking a little bit cursed, but we're getting there. We're getting closer. Okay. Slowly but certainly, the uniform is starting to come together. Okay. Next is going to be these red details. Okay, and this side. That works. That works. Lock. Grab that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just grab this, darken this up. I think stuff in moderation is the best thing to conclude the talk, because veggies and even water too much, so that can get you sick, yes. So be mindful and don't consume only sweets every day, and don't prevent. It sounds like there's a continuation to that sentence, so I'll wait. This feels like it should be a little bit redder. Yes. Yourself, if you want a sweet or yogurt or chocolate. Yeah, I mean, if there is... If you're not living on this stuff, letting yourself have a treat every now and again is not a bad thing. But yeah, moderation is key. Also, besides that, the drawing is actually the main thing here. Like, I like how you didn't do the Slayer the same white as the teeth. You did more yellowish white. Yeah, so it's I just threw a little bit of the skin color over the top of the Slayer first. Just a little bit. So while the teeth are still a little bit more on the grayer, bluer side, the Slayer have a little bit of that warmth in them as well. But I'm probably still going to work on that a little bit, because they're not blending quite right just yet. We'll get there. I think we're going to go with straight mid-tone gray for our epaulets. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go straight mid-tone gray. Which means this needs to come darker so that I can actually see the boundary here. Eek, no. Okay, now we pull these up little by little. Okay. Shape. Yeah. Nope. Nope. Like so. That is better. Now let's just make this a bit straighter. There we go. And make that a little bit straighter. Like so. Almost there. Almost got it. Like so. Okay. Got it. Okay, okay, okay. Now, what we need to do is take that back a smidge because it's just too close, I think. Okay. Lock that opacity. Pull something a little darker. Okay. Upper edge. A little darker. And no. Cancel. Cancel, cancel, cancel. What we want is this brush. Smaller. And then like that. Same thing on this side. Give ourselves our boundary. There we go. That will work. That will work. That will work. And then we need to do our silver on top. So that is going to be like this. Ta-da. Slowly but certainly we're getting there. Now, I just want to see. Something like that. Now what I want to do is I want to just tweak that. And that. There we go. Pull that one down. And just carve it out a little bit more. Okay. Almost ready with this one. Almost ready with this one. Now what we need to do is Yeah. Grab this. Just give that shade. This is all going to get refined quite significantly yet, so now what we do is we grab this, make it lighter. Something like this. Almost there. Okay, that should more or less do the trick. Now we need to just grab somewhat darker color still. Maybe one a little bit more of that hue. Yep, like that'll do. Okay. So for a first pass on colors, that will do on the uniform. There's going to be more. Oh. That is a hydrate, so everyone acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages. And let's take a sip, and then I will also do the bars on the shoulders because it's missing those still. That'll do the trick. That'll do the trick. Okay. Shucks. Okay. So, we have been streaming for 2 hours now. Okay, this is going to be the last cycle on the hydrate, and then I need to call it tonight. So let's see how far we can get in this time. Okay. This is gonna be hair 1. Hair 2. And here, 3. Okay. Now back here. We need to just quickly add. Let's see. Like that. Like that. Okay. This needs more work. All right. That ought to do the trick. Now over here. Okay, so I need to just make this a bit smaller. Slowly but certainly we're getting there. What is with this brush? Ugh. It does not layer color nicely. Okay, that looks more like metal. That looks more like metal. Okay, I am satisfied with that. Now we repeat the process over this side. Razik, hello, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? Yep. Okay, that'll work. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Hide those. There we go, there we go. Okay, we've almost got this. Let's see, still looking a little bit cursed. We're slowly but certainly getting it better. Okay. Oh boy, this needs to hide. Yeah. This is looking really cursed. I'm so sorry, guys. This is not a pretty painting process. At all. Like, I can see the beginnings of the end result starting to creep its way through. But this is a classic case of trust the process, and trust the process, and trust the process, because if you don't trust the process, oh my word, you are going to give up and try again. So hard. Because this one is definitely not standard fare. Okay, okay. Slowly but certainly we're getting there. Slowly but certainly, slowly but certainly. Okay, and then I need this ear as well. Oh, right. And then this needs white. I knew something was missing here. Almost got this, almost got this. also want this to be a little bluer on this side. Okay, this is slowly taking shape. An emphasis on slowly. I've not even gotten to the sunglasses yet. We're still in flats. Yeah. We're still only in basic lighting. Ugh. There is so much yet to do in this painting. But I'm scared if I stop, I'm not going to be able to pick it up again. Not with any level of decency, anyway. Okay. Let's add eyebrows. Okay, that's getting there. Now I want to fix the shape of this cheek because it is driving me up the wall. And that's our hydrate timer. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages. And let's take a sip. There goes the last of the coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna push through because I'm scared if I stop now I'm going to not finish this picture. I'm going to regret it in the morning, but it's better than needing to restart because of looking at it and hating it later. It's so easy to do when it's at this stage in the process. So we push through. Okay. What I do want to do is just see if I can just ease that a little bit. Just a little. There we go. And just one straight to get the sense that it's not a solid block. There we go. That'll work over there. Now this layer. We're gonna lock. And on this side. There we go. I need to sleep now. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for joining us, Alex. I appreciate it. I realized I once again went a little bit into hyper focus mode. But really thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. Drawing's coming along great. Thank you. Yes, we're slowly but certainly making progress. I'm going to try and push through on this one because I'm scared if I stop now, I'm never going to get it past the, oh shucks, it's in ugly mode phase. I hate it. So we're going to push ahead until it is past ugly phase, which is a known step in painting things. Especially when we're doing this straight ahead color, which is kind of a risky thing that I opted for today, to do straight ahead color. But so far it seems to be working, even through the ugly phase. So I'm not worried yet, but I do just want to not have it go too long. Anyway, I hope you rest well, Alex. Thank you for being here. Rest well. Go. And I completely got a little bit absorbed, I see. Let's do another hydrate. I know I said the last time I was gonna that was gonna be the last one, but I don't think stopping now is a good idea. If this was my own picture, I'd say sure, but since this is not my own picture, I don't want to risk doing the dumb with it. Okay, we're slowly starting to get somewhere with this. So what is lacking? Uniform needs to get grouped. just deepen some shadows here because I'm not happy yet. With that, that'll do the trick. Okay, that's working. Ish. That's working-ish. That looks at least a little bit more together. On that side, anyway. Still need to fix here, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in a little bit of a more neutral color on the linear burn. Nope, make it bluer. Significantly bluer. Multiply. No. Okay. So far, so good on that front. I think at this stage, we can start to add our special lighting. Increase that a little bit. Lock this opacity and fill. There we go. And on this side we want distinctly more red-orange. Okay, slowly but certainly this is starting to look like something. It's amazing what light does to bring a thing together. At least the uniform part looks decent now. Or at least it's starting to look more on theme. Am I gonna regret merging those layers? Maybe. Maybe. But for now, we're just gonna do what we need to do. Okay, that's that side. Now the other side. Okay, that's starting to look like something. Starting to. Okay. Hmm. That should do the trick. Now what I need to do is pull that down to yeah. Definitely coming along as usual. Is this the last phase? Not quite. I've still got to do the eyes proper. Then I've still got to add the layer for the hat and the layer for the sunglasses, which are going to be separate pieces. But if I can at least get the foundation done to a degree that I'm satisfied that it's behaving the way that I want it to, then I can do the hat and the sunglasses tomorrow without feeling lost and hopeless. I feel like that's better with lips slightly less pronounced. Are you specifically making it so that the hat and sunglasses can be toggled off in layers for the finished product, or for different versions of the image, or are the layers just for a format thing? It's for different versions, yeah. It was a specific part of the request, is to be able to have versions without the hat. The sunglasses off, I'm deciding autonomously to be able to take those off. It wasn't actually part of the request, but considering that the hat is going to be toggleable, I feel like it's only fair that the same is true for the glasses. Cool. Yeah. What I feel like this needs is just a little bit more darkness around the bottom edge. Which I'm going to duplicate to the hair layers. Always going above and beyond. I try. There we go. I'm feeling an awful lot better about this than I did 15 minutes ago, that's for sure. 15 minutes ago I was still feeling, this is looking like trash. But we're starting to get somewhere where I'm feeling comfy now. It is looking less abominable. There we go. Okay. Now let's finish fixing the skin. That's a neat little graphic at the top left. Thank you. It's a recent addition. I'm glad if you like it. Considering that I'm doing the YouTube thing. Only makes a little bit of sense to include a little reminder to like and subscribe if you enjoy what's been going on. Stream likes are worth a lot. Oddly nostalgic. Maybe it's because I've been watching videos about a childhood show of mine, but it reminds me of the ticker at the bottom of the cartoon channels that it shows something about the next show. Ah, yes. I remember the days of television where that sort of, hey, programming coming next is a thing. I don't remember what all channels I saw that on, but I remember that being a thing, briefly. Wait, no. Now that I think about it, it's actually insane how much work goes into getting a TV channel to do its thing like that. Like, one doesn't think about the person who has to actually punch in the details about, okay, well, this is the show that's going to be airing next. and having that be a constant, accurate delivery of information every day. Okay, and that's a hydrate, so everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages. And let's take a sip. Is hot sauce a beverage? If you don't like having a larynx, yes. I suppose so. Larynx is overrated. Oh dear. Well, I shall not be held responsible for anyone else's choices of beverages. I say safe for consumption. Whether it's a good idea or not is a separate argument altogether. Okay, so now let us do what we can with these. Firstly, we soften up the edges. clip them down. There we go. There we go. Then over here. And this. Okay, that's one eye. Almost done. Next, you soften the edge. Okay. This one. Then Something like this. And like that. Okay. I feel like this should be darker on this side. Okay, now I need to add a little bit of red at the top here. And I need to go on top of that again. Where is it? Multiply. Grab you. Okay, that works. Now, where are these two colors again? It's you and you, I think. And followed by white on top. Although this one doesn't need the blue one. Okay. So that's the irises sorted. Now we've got to deal with the nightmare that is lashes. Okay, that I absolutely despise how that looks. Ah, feminine eyelashes. Feminine eyelashes. Okay, that is, I think, as good as I'm gonna get that. Eyelashes, man. Eyelashes, man. Like Trixie. Okay, almost there, almost there. So messy. Ugh. There we go. Okay, that's gonna have to do. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here for tonight. Throw a watermark on it and send it through for checks. And then I will do any corrections and the last additions on the morrow. Because I think at this point anything else I do will just be breaking it. And I want to reassess this with fresh eyes in the morning. Because I feel like there are still things that could be fixed, but I don't know what they are. Oh, right, that's the other thing that I still need to do. That's the other thing that I still need to do, effective immediately. Before I forget. This needs to be on multiply. Bottom one is too low. That's the last thing I needed to do. Else it is not yet Heyo. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna call it here for now. I'm gonna call it here for today. Thank you guys for being here. I know I was a bit deathly quiet. I feel like I was in a weird mood today and I don't know what it was. So thank you for bearing with me. Yeah, I will decide within the next 24 hours if I'm going to keep the stream public or not. Maybe a little bit more. I think I'm going to watch the VOD through and just see how I feel about it. But I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to leave the VOD up at this point. We'll see. Always? What's always? I'm confused. I'm confused. What's always? I can't remember what I said. I can't remember what I said. Whoops. Whoops. Ah, dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I think we're just about there. Let me just do this so that it's a little bit more in the feel of it. Not quite 100% black, but closer. Yeah. We're not far off, I don't think. And then if we make it approximately that size, I think that reads okay. Especially considering it's going to probably go into a really, really, really tiny game thumbnail most of the time. But okay. We've gotten someplace. I do want to just grab these two. and just flatten this out a little bit because that does not feel like it matches the other side. Yeah, okay. Any more than that, and then I'm gonna start breaking things. But yeah, I'm happier with the eyes now, at the very least. Yeah, okay. I'm happier now. Save button. There we go. We survived it. We survived it. I did not get a chance to warm up for that painting at all. Wow, yeah, no, we survived. I did not get a chance to warm up for that painting at all. I just kind of dived into hard mode straight off the bat. I should have probably mentioned that right earlier in this day. Yeah, I didn't. I had not prepared myself or my brain for painterly work. Everything I'd been doing up until now has all been very inky, line arty, sketchy, rendering nothing type madness. So is the lag on my side or yours? Possibly on mine. Possibly on mine. Internet has been very dodgy the entire day. So it is entirely probable that the lag is on my side. Yeah. Yes, it's definitely on my side. The internet has been dropping out quite significantly now that I look at it. Yay, infrastructure. Ugh. Oh boy. But thank you guys for being here. It was an interesting day. I hope that it will be a little bit less of the I felt a weird vibe today. I don't know. And I think I was responsible for that. So I apologize. But hopefully it will be a little bit more chilled and under less stress for tomorrow. Because tomorrow, what we are doing is we are doing doodle relates. Now, what we're going to be doing basically is that I've set up spin wheels for character selection out of our Misthaven cast, as well as moods and also wildcards. And you can submit your wildcards. So there is a link up on all of my socials, including the Discord and the whatchamacallit, X, Blue Sky. Also on Myoshi as well. There is a link there too, I think. Yes, there is, in fact, there. So if you want to throw a wild card onto the spin wheel, it can be anything from a prop or an outfit or an interaction with another character even, maybe. You can throw it on the wheel. And and we will be doing a combination of each of those wheels in 20-minute at a time doodles. That's going to be the plan. I didn't get a weird vibe? Maybe I missed it. But thank you for being here. You help motivate me to try new stuff and make stuff my own. Aw. I submitted a wildcard. Yay! Thank you for your wildcards. You can submit multiple if you like to. The more wildcards we've got, the more chaotic and fun and interesting the things can be. I'm probably going to reuse the wildcards until a point where we start seeing duplicates start popping up. So we'll see what happens. I'd like this, if it works, to be something that's going to be a bit recurring as well. So that ought to hopefully be fun. It ought to hopefully be fun. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spin the wheels, do these little 20-minute doodles, see what happens. And I hope you guys are gonna enjoy it. It's gonna give us an opportunity to kind of get to know the Misthaven cast a little bit better as well. Any guidelines beside the usual standard? Go ham. Literally. It can be chaos incarnate as long as it's safe for work. Like, generally, shorter phrases make it easier to adapt, but it can be outfit ideas, it can be props, it could be things that it could be an action even. So one of the submissions I saw earlier was doing a handstand. Another submission I saw was a cow. I've got things in the list like whatchamacallit? An oversized bag of cookies, or the tiniest coffee, or dueling. I think I've got dueling, or is it sparring? I think it's sparring. I've got sparring with another character. So if we've got things where you've got you can actually say, okay, do a thing with a second character as well. So that's an option. I should probably add the disclaimer that I'm not going to do ship art. Oh, is it safe to do ship art with my own characters? I don't know. I'm not going to confirm any ships. So, I don't know. I might do a discretionary filter on that. I'm going to probably do a discretionary filter on that. Because I know I don't want to do ship art with other people's characters, that's for sure. Or real people. That's... No. That's the number one way that you're going to get yourself in all of the fights. I added a thing with books. I see the carrying the stack of books. It is in the list. Yeah. So we've got a couple now. How many have we got actually? Let me see. I'm gonna open our wildcards. There we go. What do we got? We have, currently in the list of our wildcards, we have an oversized bag of cookies, a squeaky hammer, a grumpy pigeon, while playing the piano, the tiniest coffee, chased by a ferret, sparring with another character, wearing an owl onesie, doing a handstand, a cow, an oversized sword, and carrying a stack of books. Those are our submissions so far. Those are our wildcards so far. So we have a lot of scope for additional wildcards. Like, a lot of scope for additional wildcards. So, it can be mundane, it can be chaotic. literally anything, because depending on the character and the mood that we get all together, it can lead to some incredibly funny doodles. So please go ham. Please go ham. I didn't want to fill it up entirely with my own ideas, but I did have to put down a couple just to give us I did feel like having a couple just in case there were only a handful of submissions was probably a good idea, but I didn't want to exhaust all of the options. Of course, ship art will depend on your comfort. In my opinion, if it was another person's avatar, it would be weird, but if it's just fictional characters, yeah. But I wouldn't suggest ship anything anyway. Yeah, like, I have never really felt comfy during ship art. Like, it's like number one way of getting involved in conflict, and I was like, on the internet I have not got the bandwidth for that. Even if it's my own characters, I think I'm going to try and refrain from ship art. Like, I won't stop anyone else from doing ship art with the Misthaven characters because, well, you know, this is the internet. And I've actually updated the guidelines in my VGen for my character art accordingly. That it's okay to ship Misthaven characters with other Misthaven characters, but beyond that, as long as y'all know that they do not actually exist in this iteration of reality. Some people can be, let's say, very passionate, even about fictional characters. So yeah, I agree with you, even in cases where it should be reasonable to be benign. Yeah. People get territorial. The territorial nature of the shipyard is insane. It's insane. It's not somewhere I want to dabble necessarily. Like, I think across the last 15 years of writing, I legitimately only have one confirmed ship, and that's because they're actually a married couple. Otherwise the story doesn't work. I think I had a concept for another one, but I don't know if that story is going to come off the ground, so yeah, I think over the last 15 years of writing, I've only got one actual shipped together couple of OCs out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 completely independent casts of characters. It's wild. Yeah. You see why I don't write in the romance genre? You can tell I don't read that stuff much, huh? Anyway, so yeah, we are probably gonna avoid ships in my artwork, but like, I suppose at one point or another I might as well experiment a little bit, but it all depends on how everyone writes together. Currently, the most written out POV is Lark, and he is still very much early in the first draft. We've gotten past the inciting incident, really, and the ensuing mission. But we are still working on taking steps towards the next plot point. I am trying to write everyone more or less together, but having a couple of anchor characters really helps. Lark is definitely one of them because he's basically the team leader. Let me see. Harrier is probably next most written, followed by Ebony. Yeah. Lark, Harrier, Ebony, that's the order in which they're most written, but that will still in first drafts, which means that I have not started with prose, I have not started with dialogue. I'm just getting the bullet points down of what happens, then what happens, then what happens. So, it's a lot. Every time there is shared dialogue, though, I need to duplicate it across everyone who experiences that conversation. So that's interesting. That's a little bit of a challenge that I've set for myself. Because everyone's going to experience the conversation differently, so... He's wired. Like, I can sort of guesstimate, like, what sort of ships could potentially end up being popular in Misthaven, potentially. I can see, like, 5 options between the 9 characters that immediately rear their heads. But I'm not going to confirm any of them. I'm not going to confirm any of them. And as for which ships I ship, that is going to stay strictly within my own mind. I'm not going to share any of my ships with these guys at all. Fun times. But yes, we will continue tomorrow with roulettes. I'm going to see if I can finish this portrait tomorrow as well. I've also got to finish the little update for Digi. Digi has confirmed the secondary outfit that he has requested. So I can now throw that into Live 2D to quickly export. And then what else is in the queue that is immediately urgent? I have to continue and finish sword iterations for Zany with some haste. Yeah. And then I need to go full speed ahead with Sishian. So yeah. I've got a lot in the queue that is requiring my urgent attention. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, that is gonna be it for today. I will try and have a couple more side topics ready. I tried to do a lot of prep for today and I ended up only getting half done. So, I don't know if anyone has noticed anything slightly different about the room. Like, itty bitty little bit different. Have you seen it? Have you guys seen it? The thing? The new thing? Have you seen the new thing in the room? It's a subtle one. at it. It's pointing at my head. The spear, yes! Yes, that is a new addition as of today. Yes, the oversized arrow that was salvaged from the escape pod. I am apparently blind. It's okay, Sai. It's okay. We've been looking at a blank wall above that mirror for a while, but we're finally starting to hang a few things up. But yeah, there is still a lot of scope for more decoration in this place. So we're still gonna figure out a bit more. I didn't understand, but I'm tired, so no, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, we are still looking at ways of decorating the room a little bit more. The lag is hard. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah. Still looking at ways of decorating the room. There is a cannon thing that would be up on the walls, but considering that streaming Harrier is post-plot Harrier, I'm not going to put that up yet. I don't think. But alright, Moonshiro, thank you for joining us. Rest well. Wasn't that one of my suggestions? Yes, it was. It was between you and Braid on the server. Thank you for the happy birthdays again. Yes. Rest well. And beautiful art. Thank you. I'm that guy that someone will say, did you notice I got my hair cut? And I simply did not. The hair is hair. That is all I register. Room is still room. You know what? Fair. Fair, fair. It was also a super, super subtle difference, so I don't blame you. Especially considering that it's literally following the same contour as everything around it. I honestly don't blame you for not seeing it. But yes, I am looking at other things that we can decorate the place with. Yeah, it's taking some time. I will probably continue the paint over for a while yet before I actually do any model updates to the place, because this was actually originally a 3D model. But for now, everything that I tweak to it is going to be paint over. We'll see how much of it is still a 3D model by the time I'm done with this, right? We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Rest well when you get to it. And I shall see you tomorrow for Doodle Roulettes. Let the chaos ensue. Have fun. And until next time, cheery bye.